This podcast is brought to you by the Institute for Building Technology and Safety, IBTS, a national nonprofit organization and trusted partner to public, nonprofit, and private clients. IBTS's work is guided by a board of directors with representatives from the Council of State Governments, the International City-County Management Association, the National Association of Counties, the National Governors Association, and the National League of Cities. Thanks for tuning in. This is On Further Inspection with IBTS. I'm your host, Gabby Geraci, and on today's episode, I have two visitors from our IBTS office in Puerto Rico, Agnes Crespo Quintana, Esquire, and Dr. Lisa Mariel Escobales Jimenez. Agnes is the director of IBTS's Puerto Rico office and has more than 2 decades of experience developing public policy, furthering Puerto Rico's economic development and disaster recovery efforts, and engaging stakeholders across the island's public, private, and nonprofit sectors. She's responsible for leading IBTS's many initiatives that focus on ensuring a resilient future for Puerto Rico, including, but certainly not limited to, overseeing our Community Development Block Grant funded programs, such as the Whole Community Resilience Planning Program, WCRP for short, and its sister effort, the Municipal Recovery Planning Program, MRP for short. These are programs that fall under the purview of the Puerto Rico Department of Housing, also known as Vivienda. Both the WCRP and MRP planning program work is administered here in IBTS by Lisa Mariel, who has a doctorate degree in business and management and more than 18 years of emergency and nonprofit project management experience. Today, we'll be chatting with them about their roles in these programs, discovering more about what it takes to develop community and municipal resilience plans for the island, which has been through so much climatic and economic turmoil in recent years. Thank you so much for being with us today, Agnes and Lisa Mariel. Why don't you go ahead and introduce some of the work in which you're involved?
Good morning. My name is Lisa Mariel Escobales. I am program manager at IBTS Puerto Rico office or region. As a program manager, I oversee multiple projects, especially I oversee the community projects. Whole Resiliency Program is one of the projects, and also the Municipal Recovery Program is another of the projects.
Very good. Thank you. Welcome, Lisa Mariel. Agnes.
Hi.
Hello, Agnes. Tell
Thanks,
us about
Gabby.
yourself.
Yes, I'm Agnes Crespo Quintana, and I'm the regional director for the Puerto Rico office at IBTS. I oversee all the projects that IBTS is helping Puerto Rico to reconstruct our island after the hurricanes and definitely after this economic downturn that we are living over a decade now. In alliance with several municipios, we are supporting them in this federal program management, federal funds management. Also, we have a group, a division of planning division, and we have our planners, our licensed planners, help also these municipios and these communities to provide a resilient program, a resilient plan for their future.
Why and how is IBTS Puerto Rico supporting local communities? And what kind of commitment have you guys made there?
It's in our DNA. We are mission driven, definitely. Mm-hmm. Thriving communities is what we do, not only in Puerto Rico, across the nation. So part of our integrity as a non-for-profit organization is that we want to support the island, the reconstruction of communities, not only because what they've been through, but also for the future, right? So develop in every kind of sector, economic development, health, infrastructure, definitely education for students for the future, right? And we want to work together with these communities. We are working together with these communities right now.
And you are part of those communities. So you're both living and working from Puerto Rico. I would be interested to know a little bit about that road as project managers, as residents of Puerto Rico. working with not just the municipalities, but also the communities themselves and MRP and WCRP. Tell me a little bit about your journeys from actually getting the work, making sure that the plans are going smoothly. How intricate is this process, and how have you guys managed to organize yourselves within the projects in order to accomplish them?
Well, I think as any project, at the beginning, we have the learning curve, right? WCRP is a very community-based project. It's a program, as Agnes said, that includes not only the reconstruction in long term, but also the economic. It's like a holistic view. Mm-hmm. So we need to implement the project in a holistic view. I think that the most challenging aspect of the WCRP project and working with the communities is how you gain the trust of those leaders, those community leaders, because that is your door. You need to gain their trust. So that was our first step at the beginning. Learn from the communities, listen to the residents. That's very important. Mm-hmm. Not only the guidance, but of course we have a good guidance. Of course, Vivienda or Puerto Rico Department of Housing provided guidance with the steps. And it's a very complex program because the program we are talking about 4 phases. Each one of those phases have a different task. So it's not only know the guidance, it's how you gain the trust of the residents, how you show to them, this is the project, this is something that we are going to help you in the future. We are going to give you power so you can take your decision in your community, so you can help your community from your community instead of waiting for the government. Now we are going to give you the power for the first time in the history of Puerto Rico. This is the first project that we go to the communities, mm-hmm. to the residents, and we sit down with them. Tell me, Luis, Juan, Pedro from Utuado, Caguas, what is your issue? Let me know how you deal with Maria. What is the main problem? What do you wish? How you can think we can make a change in the community in education, in infrastructure, and so on. Agnes, I don't know if you want to add.
Yes. In order to increase that resilience and lessening mm-hmm. that impact of the economic downturn and definitely the hurricanes in the south, definitely the earthquakes, and of course the pandemic, there's a saying that the person that has the problem, that suffers the problem, definitely has the way to lessen or to improve that, or how to change it for the best. They almost every time has the solution. Mm-hmm. So that's why we go to them. That's why this program is designed from bottoms up. Mm-hmm. So that is definitely not only when we do things, it's a lesson also for us as professionals, because in every project we have this great opportunity to go to the communities and talk, directly. They feel that they are part of that solution, and that design for that resilience in the future is super important for them. Not every person in the communities have trust in the governments. That's the truth. Mm-hmm. Not only local, but the national government. So when we go, and we are a non-for-profit, and we have this mission to help design this plan, it's in alliance with them, and the project becomes more, not a task, but definitely, this project for and from the community.
Mm-hmm. So you have MRP and you have WCRP. I know that MRP started before WCRP, but they're all part of the same program wheel, right? Holistic plan that Vivienda has, where different parts and pieces make up, change across the island, resilience across the island. Can you just briefly, Mariel, tell me the main differences between a municipal recovery plan, a municipal resilience plan, and a whole community resilience plan, and how they may work together, even though they're separate programs?
Yeah, if we look at the MRP or the municipal plans, we are working with the mayors. We are working with the public employees that work in the municipalities. So we are gathering information with more technical, would say more technical view about what the municipio needs. And we are going to give the municipio and the people who work on the decision maker in the municipality like a guidance of how or when they use in the correct way the project that may be already allocated by FEMA or CDBG funds, or maybe they are searching for another project to finish one project that are right now in place. So it's a guidance for the municipality. It's kind of high level, but the WCRP projects is more with the community. I think that's the huge difference between both are planning, both projects. In the end will be have a better planning or plan for the future for the project. It need short, medium, or long term recovery for Puerto Rico. However, when we talk about WCRP, we are going to the core. We are going to those communities. At some point, when we have both projects, the municipio is the person in charge to put in place the plan, the MRP plan. Mm-hmm. So they have to put together a committee and so on. But the WCRP plan, that community inside of that municipio, they are in charge of their plan. At some point, I think that they can converge. At some point that they can have put together both plans and maybe reach more opportunities for that community.
Interesting. And you have that high level view where you can see that bird's eye view where you can connect them.
Exactly. Right. The municipality, now they have this plan, this huge plan. But they don't have the detail, the primary data, a census per community. We don't have that in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico have never had that.
Exactly.
Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm. So this is the first time also for have that primary data that we are collecting from the program. So at some point when we finish, for example, Utuados communities or Ponce's communities, it will be perfect timing so they can have maybe some specific projects. I will mention to you one community in Ponce. We have this community, is Montes Llanos. This community has some issues with landslides. Right now, I think 10 or 15 families, they are out of their homes because they lost everything. Because they lost their homes, everything. They don't have access because they broke in two ways. So the municipality is working. Ponce municipality is working with the community, but they don't have performed what they say like geological study to know what is happening in that community to present a real solution. So that's one of the great opportunities at WCRP. Once the planner identifies the risk and the vulnerability, we can request for a specialized project, for example, a geological project, so they can view what is happening to that community. We can present to them a real solution so they can rebuild that area if they can rebuild that area. That's the way at some point we can unite both projects.
Gotcha.
This program also allows us to identify specific funds for this kind of specific situations, right?
Okay.
Because the MRP was designed to identify how the municipio can allocate their money or how to identify funds to implement part of their agenda, right? Identify as a problem or what they have already identified. The community that live there right now, and they're living with this huge hole in Montes Llanos, for example, the municipio or the local government can help them reallocate, or, the community wants a solution in a longer term, right?
It's a temporary solution. Right.
Exactly. So we can identify funds to identify the origin, the genesis of that situation, or maybe a possible assessment of what really happened and what maybe is the solution in the long term, that it maybe that area is not longer residential, right?
Of course.
That's a possible outcome. That is possible in a whole community resilience plan. And I have to reiterate that that is our commitment to be part of that specific solutions for the community. IBTS have come to Puerto Rico almost a decade ago to provide clean energy solutions, and definitely after the hurricanes to provide that resilience as part of our expertise in the States. And now that we have much greater team, right? Very important to us to implement all that experience that we have come, not only from the States, but experts from the island, that local experts that we have hired to be part of this great team.
And you talk about energy. I'm guessing there are different aspects of any resilience plan, energy perhaps being one of them. What other elements are being, discussed in these resilience plans once they're completed?
Yeah, they're very specific. They had other situations. For example, they have a huge community of elderly or with disabilities. They have limited, access to the basic needs, right? Mm-hmm. That's also some other communities that we have to take in consideration in these plans.
So you talk about the community and the importance of going there and and building this rapport with people that may not immediately trust you because you're working with government funds, for example. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about that process of starting off building that rapport.
Well, after we built the first rapport with the community leaders, and they gave us this opportunity to go to the community and give this orientation about the program to community and the resident of the community. I think that the most important thing is not to get there and that they receive you, is also that they trust you. And the most important is that this is a long process. As I said, we are talking about 4 or 5 phases. So how can you maintain that trust? How can you have an engagement, a long-term engagement with the resident of the community? Mm-hmm. And I think it's that the trust, the continuous communication between our planners and their community, and have these periodic community meetings to let them know, hey guys, we are here. What do you think? You think that we are doing what we are doing right now? This is this is the correct data, or you think it's not the accurate, or it's not accurate. And so, yes, it's not only gain the trust, their trust is more important. Gain an engagement, a long-term engagement.
Maintaining
because again,
trust.
This is
right.
Continuing that trust. This is a long-term project. So
we're here to stay, and we are committed with the transformation of our island.
We need that engagement.
So what is next with regard to, first of all, I would love to know exactly how many MRP plans we've completed at this point, but also what's next. I know you're in the midst of WCRP right now. What is coming up next for IBTS Puerto Rico with regards to all of these communities and municipalities that are now, armed with these resilience plans? What's next?
We already finished 7 MRP. We have 7 MRPs already finished. We are in the final process, which meaning that Vivienda, or Puerto Rico Department of Housing, mm-hmm. is reviewing these final plans to approve and have the final version. So we're almost done with MRP. I think that the plans that we deliver, they are a good source for the municipality, as I said before. The next, I think, WCRP, of course, we need to finish the whole process, and we are working with communities. So we are very excited to continue working with the communities. I think, as Agnes said, for myself, I love the WCRP project because the team have the opportunity to get there to the communities. And the key to our success in these WCRP projects is that besides the planners and the planning and the structure and the organization, is that we always have the empathy with the people and with the residents that we are working. Next, we are going to in a couple of months, we are going to work sector of the also community-based, but we are going to educate. We are going to give those person that Agnes mentioned, last mile person, that they are struggling a lot with power outage in Puerto Rico, and they need a stable system of energy in their house. This is a basic need, that Agnes said. So we are going to work with those residents in these last mile areas to help them, educate them. This is your rights. This is how you're supposed to run this solar installation that some company of fear put in their house, maybe in the past.
That's empowerment too. So you're giving them
more empowerment to that community. So we are very excited. We are very excited with that project also.
I believe I see it this way. I believe that we're going back to our genesis in Puerto Rico. We came introducing our policy of clean energy and promoting definitely what it's quality in solar installations. And now that thanks to DOE grant, we are able to educate, as Dr. Escobales mentioned, and we with this integrating the network of different stakeholders, we're going to impact these homeowners in these last mile communities and educate them as consumers, and definitely as our regulatory framework. We have a law that orders the government to promote what it's renewable energy. So in 2050, we eliminate carbon waste. So IBTS Puerto Rico will be able to educate the benefits of solar PV and battery storage systems. So we are going to be part of that consumer protection education and share on the best practices in that area. So we are very enthusiastic to start that project.
That's fantastic. And I wonder how your staff is doing with all of this, going out to the communities, what the feedback has been from them that are knocking on people's doors and getting to know the people of the communities, the residents.
Let me tell you, and Dr. Escobales can also comment about this, but we have generated a great team in IBTS Puerto Rico. Every single employee here has been in the field, knows exactly what we do. So if you're an accountant, and you only do, the finance and also all kind of desk stuff, you also know exactly what is part of being in the field, having that empathy to discuss with the community leader, and also understand what we do and why we do it. That is super important. So when we go, we come back to the office and, starting doing our reports, we have this knowledge and this transformative vision of the recovery that we want to promote in Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. My team has this knowledge and identity of this sustainability that we want to promote. For me, that is super great.
It's personal. Yeah.
Yes.
Did you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I need to add that, and I would like to mention by their names. We are talking about the planner Rosa Lozano. We are talking about the planner Brian Rodriguez, about Cesar Garcia, and also Heriberto Urbano, Mr. Heriberto Urbano. They are the core of the WCRP. So as Agnes said, we usually go with them to a community meeting to have a work session, a mapping session to support them. But each one of them, they are very, very
committed.
Committed. Thank you. That's the right way. They are committed with their communities, and they don't care if they need to work 12 hours. And the next day need to go to another community because they're going to do it. You know why? Because they have this committed. They are committed with their communities, and and they believe in the project, and they're already identified these necessities, and they know that in somehow they are doing the difference because they believe in the project, in the process. That's something for me is the key element for this great team, the effort that they put in each one of the community. They really believe in WCRP process and the project, and they believe as a planner view. And that's very important because it's not, my background is business. We are talking about some people, the person that have their background are planning. So they know the importance of the planning. And they think that this is a great step to finalize and have a great vision, it's not a resilient, it have a resilient in long term and a real resilience. So they believe, and that's for me is very important.
In the office, how is the morale right now? Are you excited about what's next? Is everybody energized? It seems like it is very much so.
In the office, we are very excited because we have new projects for 2024. And also, I want to emphasize that we have been receiving monitoring from other projects, and we have gotten an A. And as a result, the outcome has been very positive from the local Department of Housing. And for me, it's an honor to manage a team that is so committed and also with excellence.
Yeah.
This new opportunity is another community project. And I think we are very excited because as we are mission driven and we're continue working with the community. So yes, we are very excited to begin to plan and to put together the project, the deployment process, and see what happens.
I'm excited to hear how the DOE project is going in a few months and learning how the WCRP project wrapped up. Looking forward to that conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gabby, for having us.
And to our audience, thanks for listening to On Further Inspection. We invite you to tune in again as we continue to explore topics and trends that are helping our communities thrive.